I enlisted in 2005 and then went to officer candidate school about a year afterwards, and I've been an engineer officer ever since. So initially I had run 2 marathons a long time ago, probably 03, 04. I ran the Marine Corps Marathon in back-to-back years, and that was it for me. I thought I'd checked that box, and I had no desire to go any more or any further distance. In 2011, my brother and I started running the Palmetto 200, which is a relay race. It's 200 miles, but it's shared anywhere from 4 to 12 people. And as we got into that race more, we started reducing the amount of people to where we were running what they call the ultra category. So each of us were running about 50 miles. And though not considered a true ultra, that's when I started to kind of have the idea that maybe I wanted to look at something different. And it coincided with a training partner of mine over at CrossFit. She was an endurance runner, and she told me, hey, you should give these ultra marathons a try. And I remember thinking there's absolutely no way. The 50 that I'd run during a relay, I could take a 3 or 4 hour break after 10 miles before I did my next leg. And now you're talking about running 24 hours continuously, or 100 miles continuously. And honestly, I didn't think my body would put up with that. And but what it created a desire to know if it actually could. And I guess that desire to know if I could actually do it trumped all of the fears I may have had about not completing it. What I found that I need about 4 days of running and about 3 to 4 days of cross training. In particular, I do CrossFit, and what I found is that keeps my core in shape, which is something that's really important on the longer distance races. There's kind of a chain reaction that occurs when your core fails. What running ultras has taught me is how to be patient, and how on a very long event, whether that's a 100-mile race or being in my advanced officers course for a year, how it's taught me to focus on smaller goals, remain patient, provide a good product at all of those steps, and then get to the finish line that way, instead of getting, I was always prone just to getting irritable about not being quick enough to get certain things finished. And this has definitely disciplined me to take a better approach to completing tasks. It is a family affair. I have a wife and 3 kids, and other than the 2.5-year-old, everybody runs. So what I like to do, I try to include them in training events. My wife runs ultras too, and so I try to support her. And then usually we try to do one family event, a quarter, where we do a family 5K or something like that. But they understand the passion, and I certainly understand it with my wife as well. What I find myself having to do is run at very odd hours. You get up at 3 a.m. to knock out a run because there's work and school and family commitments throughout the day. But believe it or not, there is an actual balance that you can find, and I think once you find it, everything works really well. So for the 24-hour and the 100-miler, they're similar. There's a few differences, but they're similar in kind of the mental game is what I've found on how to get through it. And for the 100-miler in particular, I think my mindset was I had to remain as comfortable as possible during the first 50 miles. So the pace was very slow, with a lot of attention being paid to nutrition and hydration. I think going into it knowing that, getting through the first 50 miles and then just understanding that it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's just it's just going to be a test at that point. I definitely want to be doing it for a while. I mean, I'm about to be 39 years old, and I want to do these races for the foreseeable future.